and one of them is terminal lucidity. And it's described as where people lose brain function over time, only to regain full consciousness to say goodbyes before dying. Tell me about that term.
Sure. Over time, and there were a good many peer-reviewed studies of these because it's something that physicians are not expecting, and it's something that people need to be aware of. If you have a loved one with a terminal disease, now sometimes they recover, but you may come into the room at some point and all of a sudden where they've been dying of a brain debilitating disease such as Alzheimer's, where the brain is essentially being destroyed, or your brain is being destroyed by a tumor that's not just pushing your brain aside, but it's replacing your brain tissue with the tumor. And so you're not expected to come away from this. You've been slowly going downhill. Now you're comatose. It's toward the end. And suddenly, a lot of people, they'll come in one day and their loved one is perfectly lucid, talking to them, saying maybe if they need to get right with somebody they haven't been so right with, maybe they have some business they need to do toward the end. Maybe it's just that God's being nice and giving them a chance to say, everyone a chance to say goodbye to each other. But for some reason, they'll become extremely lucid toward the end, and it's typically within a day or so that they die. Now, how could they have known that they were about to die to say their goodbyes? Doctors, a study was done, I believe it was in the British Medical Journal, of physicians and how when somebody's going through an extended death like this, how accurate are they in determining a person's time of death? And usually they're off by weeks. They just don't know in a situation like that. But often these people will come to be perfectly lucid, know that they're about to die, say their goodbyes, and then sure enough, they die. That to me seems more consistent with an afterlife hypothesis that their spirit is about to leave the body. It's not just their physical brain that's working at that time. There's something else involved, and God's giving them an opportunity to say goodbye before they head off to the other side. One of them is terminal lucidity, as I just mentioned. Another would be deathbed visions, where people just before they die or just when they're getting toward death will start talking about visiting with deceased relatives and angels on the other side. At a New York hospice, within the last 10 years or so, a study went on where they would interview the patients each morning because often people don't talk about these things when they happen, but they would actually interview the patients who are dying each morning and found over 80% of them having these deathbed visions. And they've been studied for a long time. A physicist studied them back in the late 1800s and was just shocked that uh, one of the first ones that really shocked him into realizing these were real is his wife was a physician,